A boy named Kevin grows up in a regular household. His parents aren't rich, but they work hard, and every single day, they hand him the same map to success. Kevin's dad: study hard, get good grades, go to university, find a stable job, and you'll be set for life. Kevin believes them. Why wouldn't he? They love him. They mean well. They followed that same map themselves. So Kevin does everything right. He studies hard. He gets accepted to a good university. He graduates with a degree in business administration. He lands a corporate job with a decent salary. He gets the apartment. He gets the car. He gets the lifestyle. And then, at 32 years old, Kevin sits alone in his apartment on a Sunday night, staring at his bank account. Why do I feel broke? He did everything right. He followed the map. He checked every single box. So why isn't it working? Because Kevin was never given the right map. Today, we're going to walk through the 5 biggest money lies Kevin was taught, and the truths that could have changed everything. Lie number 1. A good education guarantees financial success. Kevin's story, the degree. Kevin was thrilled when he got his acceptance letter, first in the family to go to university. His parents threw a party. What no one told Kevin was the full cost of that party. By the time he graduated, Kevin had $47,000 in student loan debt. His entry-level salary? $38,000 a year. After rent, car payments, groceries, utilities, and his minimum loan payments, Kevin had almost nothing left. He wasn't building wealth. He was digging out of a hole that started on day 1 of his adult life. The truth: education is a tool, not a guarantee. A degree opens doors, but it doesn't teach you what to do once you're inside. School teaches you how to earn money. It almost never teaches you how to keep it, grow it, or make it work for you. The wealthiest people in the world, Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, Sarah Blakely, they didn't get rich because of their degrees. They got rich because they understood money as a system. They learned financial literacy, not just job skills. The classroom teaches you to work for money. Wealth is built when money works for you. Lie number 2. A stable job means financial security. Kevin's story, the corporate ladder. Kevin's job was stable. He got promotions. His salary grew from $38,000 to $62,000 over 6 years. On paper, things look good, but here's what was happening quietly in the background. Every time Kevin got a raise, his spending went up too. Nicer apartment, newer car, more dining out, designer clothes to look the part. His colleagues called it lifestyle inflation. Kevin just thought it was normal. Then one Tuesday morning, an email went out company-wide. Company email: due to restructuring, we will be making organizational changes. Affected employees will be contacted by HR within 48 hours. Kevin's phone rang 24 hours later. He had 3 months of severance and only $1,200 in savings. The truth: a job is income. It is not wealth. True financial security doesn't come from a paycheck. It comes from assets, things that generate income even when you're not working. A job gives you income in exchange for your time. The moment you stop working, the income stops. That is not security. That is dependency. Real security is when your savings, investments, or businesses can sustain your life, even if your job disappears tomorrow. Financial experts call this your runway, how long you can survive without new income. For most employed people, it's less than 90 days. For the wealthy, it's measured in years. Don't build a life that collapses the moment a paycheck stops. Lie number 3. Save money and you'll be fine. Kevin's story, the savings account. Kevin tried to do the right thing, but was taught the wrong method. After the layoff scare, Kevin made a commitment. He opened a savings account and started putting $300 a month in. He was proud of himself. After 2 years, he had $7,200 saved. But here's what he didn't realize. His savings account paid 0.4% interest. Meanwhile, inflation was running at 3.5%. In real terms, Kevin was actually losing purchasing power every single month, even while his balance grew. His $7,200 today would buy less than $7,000 worth of goods from 2 years ago. He saved diligently and still fell behind. The truth: saving is the floor. Investing is how you build the ceiling. Saving money is important. It gives you a foundation and an emergency cushion. You should absolutely have 3 to 6 months of expenses in accessible savings. But beyond that safety net, money left sitting in a savings account is slowly dying. Wealth is built through investing, putting your money into assets that grow faster than inflation. Index funds, real estate, businesses. These are the tools that have historically returned 7 to 10% annually, far outpacing inflation. The most powerful force in personal finance is compound interest. Einstein reportedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. $500 a month invested at 8% annual return from age 25 grows to over $1.7 million by retirement. That same amount saved in a bank account, roughly $180,000. The difference between saving and investing is the difference between surviving and thriving. Lie number 4. Debt is just a part of life. Everyone has it. Kevin's story, the credit spiral. Kevin's friends had credit cards. His co-workers had car loans and home loans and personal loans. Nobody seemed stressed about it. Debt felt completely normal. So when Kevin needed a new laptop, he put it on credit. When he wanted to take a vacation, he put it on credit. When he got a new phone, a new couch, new shoes for an important interview, credit. Just small things. Nothing major. But small things compound too. By 34, Kevin had $14,000 in credit card debt and an average interest rate of 19%. He was paying $280 a month and barely touching the principal. He was essentially paying the bank $280 a month for the privilege of owing them money. The truth, not all debt is equal, but most consumer debt is wealth destruction. There are 2 types of debt, productive debt and destructive debt. Productive debt is money borrowed to acquire an asset that grows in value or generates income. A mortgage on a rental property, a business loan. In the right context, this debt can actually accelerate wealth. Destructive debt is money borrowed to consume. Credit cards, car loans for depreciating vehicles, buy now, pay later schemes. This debt earns nothing for you. It quietly drains your wealth every single month. The wealthy understand the difference. They use leverage strategically. They don't borrow money to buy things that lose value. Every dollar consumer debt you carry is money being transferred from your future to someone else's profit. Lie number 5. Rich people are just lucky or greedy. Kevin's story, the awakening. Kevin meets a mentor figure. Keep it grounded and real. Kevin was at a community seminar, one he almost didn't attend, when he sat next to a man named Mr. Joseph. Mr. Joseph was 58. He owned a small landscaping business, 3 rental properties, and had no mortgage. He wore a regular polo shirt and drove a 10-year-old car. He didn't look rich. Kevin, still frustrated with his finances, made a comment. Kevin, honestly, I think it's just luck. Some people are born into money. The rest of us just have to grind. Mr. Joseph smiled. Mr. Joseph, I grew up in a 2-room house with 5 siblings. No inheritance. No lucky break. But I learned one thing young that changed everything. Rich people don't work for money. They build systems that work for them. Kevin was quiet. Mr. Joseph, I spent my first 10 years building my business, not spending what it made. I bought my first rental with the profit. That rental bought the second. By the time I was 40, money was coming in whether I worked or not. That's the game, son. And it's one anyone can learn. The truth. Wealth is a skill, and skills can be learned. Yes, some people start with advantages. That's real. But the vast majority of millionaires in the world are first-generation wealthy. People who build from nothing by learning and applying financial principles. The lie that rich people are just lucky is dangerous because it makes wealth feel out of reach. It tells you the game is rigged. So why bother playing? But the truth is, the principles are learnable. The strategies are documented. The tools are available to almost anyone willing to study and apply them. You don't need to be lucky. You need to be literate, financially literate. The new map, 5 truths to replace the 5 lies. Kevin, 1 year later. Kevin didn't win the lottery. He didn't find a hidden inheritance. He didn't launch a startup that got acquired. He did something much more quiet and much more powerful. He got financially literate. He paid off his highest interest credit card first, then rolled that payment to the next one. He built a $5,000 emergency fund and left it untouched. He opened an investment account and started putting in $400 a month. Index funds, simple and consistent. He took a weekend course on real estate fundamentals. Nothing dramatic. Nothing get rich quick. Just the right map, finally, in his hands. The truth. Here is the map Kevin wishes he had from the start. 1. Education gives you skills. Financial education gives you freedom. 2. Your job is a starting point, not a destination. Build income streams beyond your salary. 3. Save for security. Invest for growth. Know the difference. 4. Treat consumer debt like fire. Useful in the right place. Destructive everywhere else. 5. Wealth is not luck. It is literacy applied consistently over time. You might be Kevin right now. You might have done everything you were told, studied, worked hard, lived responsibly, and still feel like you're treading water. I want you to hear this clearly. It is not your fault that you weren't taught this, but it is now your responsibility to learn it. The people who designed school curricula weren't focused on making you wealthy. They were focused on preparing workers. That's the system. But you are not a product of a system. You are a person with agency. And the information that changes everything is more available today than it has ever been in human history. Start small. Start today. Learn one principle this week. Make one better decision with money this month. The compound effect of knowledge works exactly the same as the compound effect of money. Every financial giant you admire started with a single truth they decided to take seriously. This could be yours. If this story connected with you, share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe, and let's build a financial literacy that school never gave us.